Hey guys, welcome back to another plan with me. This week I'm planning from June 12th to the 18th, and I'm using this Easter in Wonderland kit by Pink Planner Shop. Now obviously this is not the week of Easter, but in my opinion this was the perfect kit for this week because the main event of the week was my boyfriend's niece's 4th birthday party, which was a tea party. It was technically ballerina themed, but you could barely tell. And actually the most ballerina themed item besides the invitations were the cupcake toppers that I made to bring to the party. We'll get into all that. But yeah, this kit is stunning. I am a sucker for an Alice in Wonderland themed kit. I can't say no. I would still just love a horror themed Alice in Wonderland kit, or an Alice Returns to Madness themed kit, or I don't know if you watched this show in the 90s, but an Adventures in Wonderland themed kit. That would make my world. That would make my world. If you ever watched that show when you were younger, let me know. Taught me everything I know about adverbs. So anyway, this week was another week where I built a lot of stuff up in my head and thought it was the end of the world, and everything turned out just fine. Similar to Beetlejuice the previous week with the ticket drama, I don't like being responsible for things in case they turn out badly. I was nervous about the cupcakes. I was nervous about all the stuff that Joe and I were transporting from Philadelphia to New York City. It was a lot, way too much for a sedan, but we will get into that. And also this week, I dyed Joe's hair for the first time. Now, I've bleached it quite a few times. I'm talking we dyed it bright blue. And I was scared that everything would go wrong and it would be all my fault. And just really quick segueing back to the whole Beetlejuice thing. Again, listening to my voiceover back, I sound like I didn't want my friend or her family there. That's not at all the case. I just really wanted to just buy Joe and me tickets and that be it, and not wait for other people. Once you have a big group, it's a huge mess, and it was a huge mess. But no, I love all of them. I just want to make that clear because Jesus Christ, I sound like I would have rather died than spend time with them, which is definitely not true. But if I had my way, it would have just been Joe, me, my roommate, easy peasy lemon squeezy, just the three of us, no responsibility. But anyway, so back to this week. Similar situation where I'm freaking out about having responsibility, but it's really all in my head, and honestly most of the responsibility was on Joe. I just by association feel responsible and feel overwhelmed, and yeah. But anyway, we will get into all of that. Do you still enjoy these videos, by the way? I'm starting to get bored with myself again. I'm still going to continue to do them, but I'm starting to feel I've been feeling this way for a while, but I'm getting bored of myself, of hearing myself talk. And I also feel like my voiceovers make no sense. While I'm saying them, I feel like I'm making a ton of sense. And then I listen back and I hate them. So that's been a thing. But yeah, just let me know. Let me know. I don't know. For now, we're going to keep going. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So just let's get into the day by day. Starting with Monday, of course, the first thing I marked was that I slept terribly. This is a regular thing for Mondays. I really don't even need to mark it. And that's sort of what I'm talking about, getting bored with myself. I feel like everything is so repetitive. But anyway, here we are. I had another terrible night's sleep. And then I walked to work, and I was in office this day with my boss. This might have been... there might be one other day that I was in office with my boss before she went to Denver for the summer. But yeah, this was one of those days. And I really like my boss. I think she's great. It's just you have, again, when you're in the office with other people, you have to put on a front. You can't just be your tired, sad self. You have to smile, and that's too much for me. So that's my main issue with being in the office with other people. I just don't have the energy to do all that. And then it torrential downpoured at the end of the day, so Joe picked me up so I wouldn't have to walk. And then first thing I did when we got back was just scroll on my phone. I've been worse about that because I was doing such a good job at never going on TikTok. I go on it every once in a while, but it's under control. I don't go on every day. Then I marked that this was the first time using tretinoin on my face. I don't see any difference or any improvement yet, but we'll see. And then I attempted to go to bed early. Sorry if the audio changed, but the air just kicked on, so I had to go back in my room because it's way too loud out in my living room. But yeah, also this video might be at a quicker pace. We'll see how it goes. I pulled stickers ahead of time, and I think I'm gonna have to continue to do that for the rest of the summer because it's just too hot in my bedroom to have all the lights on during filming. So it just makes more sense for me to pull stickers the night before, basically in the dark with just like a little lamp on to just keep the space cool, and then film the next day just so the lights are not on for as long, if you sort of understand what I'm saying. So yeah, I did pull ahead of time for this spread. So anyway, moving on to Tuesday, the first thing I marked was that I worked, and then I cleaned the litter first thing in the morning. On my break, I worked in Procreate to start designing the cupcake toppers. We put like a silly picture of Joe's niece's head on top of a ballerina's body, and then duplicated that times 50. They came out really, really cute. And I figured out my own cut lines for the first time ever. I really didn't want to cut out 50 individual little girl ballerina cake toppers. And I was just so proud of myself. It's honestly really easy. But again, like, it was the first time I ever did it, so it was exciting. Then I listened to an audiobook and did the absolute smallest bit of my current puzzle. I haven't even finished the border. I just genuinely haven't had time. I haven't had time. So yeah, I worked on it for maybe 30 minutes. And then Joe came over so that I could bleach his hair, and we watched Scream 3 while I did that, which I think, in my opinion, is the worst Scream movie. Terrible, terrible. But we're watching all of them, so there you have it. Moving on to Wednesday, again, the first thing I marked was work. Then I ran on my break, and after work, I took a shower and gave myself razor burn, so I knew it was time to change my razor. This is probably TMI, and maybe some of you think this is gross, but I don't change my razor like that often. Some women do it every week, and they are so expensive, at least like the heads that I get, that we're using that until it no longer works. And then I played Toontown with my mom, and I watched the movie May in the background, which I have seen before, but I zoned out through parts of it. And this time I paid attention a little more, and it's decent. And then I planned a little bit, and then I did some major sticker damage. This was the day that I broke my no spend on Once More with Love because they were having a sale, and I really wanted a lot of new work stickers and just some other items, and I was just like, screw it, today's the day. Moving on to Thursday, the first thing I marked was work, and then I also washed and changed my sheets this day, which is my #1 least favorite chore. I would rather scoop litter, I would rather scrub the shower, anything other than sheets. I despise them. And then I did a full body workout this day that absolutely kicked my ass. I vacuumed, and then Joe came over because I was going to finish his hair, and he had gotten like a $5 pizza from Blaze, and he shared it with me, which was very nice. Then I marked that we baked 50 cupcakes this day. And then I dyed Joe's hair blue. We kept flip-flopping back and forth, but decisions had to be made because we needed to bake 50 cupcakes. He also wanted me to print and cut. He didn't want me to, he wanted me to. He didn't ask me to, but I did it because, again, I'm scared of things being my fault. Originally, I had printed and cut a bunch of little cupcake toppers, and I thought they were the perfect size. He thought they were too small. Eventually, he realized the ones I had printed first were the perfect size. So then I had accidentally deleted that file, so I had to make the new, the file all over again. And it was just a mess because, yeah, I just panicked and I should have saved the smaller version, but whatever. It's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. But the point is I had to basically create the art. It's not even art, but create the clip art. I don't know, wait. I'm getting tongue-tied. I had to create the image again, duplicate it, and make cut lines and print and cut all over again because I only had 12 cupcake toppers at this point, and I needed 50. So it was just like we had a lot to do. So the point is, we were just flip-flopping back and forth on his hair. He finally just had to make the decision to do it, and we did it. We dyed his hair. And then at the end of the night, I had a meltdown just because I was too tired, and we just had so much to do, so much to do. But we got it all done. I went to bed around like 2 a.m., which was just not good. But I think he went to bed at like 4 or 5 a.m. when he went home, because he was like getting other stuff together. There was so much. We will continue on. So moving on to Friday, I obviously marked that I was dying, because I just was up way too late the night before. I had to fill my tire, so I did that in the morning just because I knew I wasn't going to have time after work, because we were like on a time limit. And then I marked work, and during work there was a huge thunderstorm, but it was so calming. I love a massive thunderstorm only when I am indoors at home. I don't have to leave, and I have huge windows to look at it through. Otherwise, I don't like it. Unless I can like watch it happen from my little safe space, I don't enjoy. But it was great. I also did my nails, and then I had to pack because we were leaving for New York this day. So immediately after work, I got off at 2 this day. I worked late Thursday so that I could leave early, and I ran it by my boss, and she was fine with it. So I got off at 2, headed to Joe's, and it was just pure chaos at his place. We had these 50 frosted cupcakes and the cake toppers that we had to package in a way that would protect them all the way to New York. We had to, luckily he had already loaded the 2 folding tables we were bringing with us into his car, but we had to get all of his like stuff together. Again, the cupcakes, we brought watermelon. I think like we just brought a lot of stuff, and that's not even the half of it. Like at the end of this trip, we had brought 2 folding tables, a dolly, and 3 coolers, 2 of which were like family-sized jumbo coolers to New York. Oh, and 3 folding beach chairs, because his parents requested beach chairs. All of that in his tiny Honda Civic. I don't know how we fit it all. Luckily, his personal cooler was small enough to fit inside one of the bigger coolers we had borrowed from his bosses. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to take all 3. There was just no way. He couldn't see out the back window after we had gotten all this stuff packed in, because also we had our duffel bags too. Like it was just a lot. And so we were going to be driving through New Jersey, so we decided to stop and have dinner with one of Joe's friends, and we got sushi. It was really good. We were actually very near where I grew up, so that was cool. I enjoy going to that area. And he wanted to stop at Dollar Tree and get his niece a balloon, even though it was super late. And then we finally made the rest of the way to New York City, and we got there really, really late, like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And I was having a full-blown panic attack because I thought that we were not going to get parking anywhere near, because we're talking like lower Manhattan. We're not even talking like Brooklyn, like we're in Manhattan looking for street parking with a car full of stuff that needs to be brought in. Again, dolly, folding tables, chairs, like too much, coolers. So we are almost at his sister's building, and we see this guy take a spot right across the street. I could have shed a tear. And don't ask me how. We drove around for a little while, didn't find anything in basically the entire neighborhood, drove back. The car right in front of their building pulls out. I don't know who was leaving at 11 p.m. on a Friday night, but I don't care. We have never parked on their street, let alone right out front. So that was just fantastic. And then the final thing for Friday was that I got inside. We brought the stuff in. I got ready for bed and went to bed immediately. Done. Moving on to Saturday, the first thing I marked was that we were up so early. This was the earliest I've ever been up at their place. The party was at 11 a.m. and I was planning on sleeping till 9, but I woke up at 8 just because I had to pee, and then I just stayed up because there was no point in going back to sleep. We then had to pack up everything because we were transporting all this stuff 10 minutes away to a public park. And if you want to know how we ended up getting tables at this park, Joe's brother-in-law went out at 7 a.m. to reserve these tables for the 11 a.m. party. So he was just chilling out there for hours because tables in New York City go fast. And then I just marked that Joe's brother was being a douche, and he was just not helpful at all. And then we transported everything to the party, which was sort of insane because we were walking right along the river, and everything was blowing around, and we were just trying to keep everything on the dolly and keep the cupcakes from getting destroyed, and it was just a whole thing. And then we finally made it, and we had the party, and it was wonderful. And once we managed to get everything back to their place, I took a nap. I was done. And then I just marked that we had pizza all day because we had pizza for the party, and then we just ate leftovers for dinner because it was there. And then we thought about staying the night, but ended up just driving home. It was just, there was no point in staying, and that way we would have like just one day to relax. So moving on to Sunday, the first thing I did, of course, was take care of the cats. I also took a nap, and then we watched Jury Duty. And then we went for a walk, and then I slept like shit. So, yeah. Sunday was pretty uneventful, which was nice, but also gave me a lot of time to have anxiety about Monday. So, but still, I'm glad that we drove back instead of spending the day in New York because as much as I would have loved to do that, I am very sleep deprived. So, yeah. I just couldn't do it. But anyway, that's everything for this plan with me. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if there's anything you think I should change. I don't know. I've also been thinking about maybe doing other types of videos. I'm not really sure. I don't know. But here we are. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.